everybody, and welcome to another episode of Live with David Lewis. I am your host, David Lewis. Let me just get my screen set up here a little bit better so you can all see me. Today is Friday, May 21st. Hope you're all doing well, being safe. I know a lot of you are struggling with inventory issues. I think we're going to make that a topic probably next week or the week after. But it is what it is. Listen, it's a problem. We're going to get through it. We've gotten through other problems in the past. And this one too will pass, and we will be better at it for what we have to be and what we have to do. But today's topic is, why should I buy a car from you? And I mean, really, that's a great topic. And when I go out and I do a lot of my speaking engagements, and if I've been to your dealership, one of the first things I always ask when I get a group of people together is, hey, why should I buy a car from you? Why you? Why you at your dealership? And the ironic thing is that I hear the same thing everywhere I go. They say, well, I'm a great person. I'll give you a great deal. I've got great inventory, and I'll take care of you after the sale. And sure, that's a reason to buy from you. But that's what, the guy down the street said and the girl down the street said. You all kind of say the same thing. So let's think about this for a second. If you all say the same things that everybody else says, you will not be a factor in why I buy the car from you. It'll become price. If you all make the same presentations and demonstrations, you respond to the same way you handle objections, you pencil your deals in the same manner, well, what happens is you create an environment where price now is the deciding factor. And I'm not going to lie to you. If I went to two dealerships and spoke with two salespeople and everything was equal, I would buy from the person that gave me a better price. And I think most people would too. So our job as salespeople is to be different. It's to be unique. It's to be inspiring. Anybody can make a presentation. We can teach anybody to do the road to the sale, how to present the numbers and how to overcome the objections. You want that customer to want to buy from you, for you to be special, for you to be unique. I'm going to tell you this, and I believe this from the bottom of my heart. People will pay more to buy from people they want to do business with, people they like, people who have treated them fairly and kind and have had a great experience with them. I do believe that. Now, is somebody going to pay $1,000 or $1,500 more? No, that's unrealistic. But will someone pay $200, $300, $400 more? Absolutely. There's proof in this. It happens all the time. It's why some dealerships make higher grosses than others. It's why some salespeople at dealerships make higher grosses than other salespeople. Another big factor of that is if a customer calls you back, they've been to your dealership, they spent some time with you, they called you back and they asked you if you could match or beat someone else's price. What they're telling you is, hey, I want to do business with you, but your presentation wasn't that much better, so I'm kind of narrowing down the price. Now the question is how much better were you than the other person to get a few dollars more? And we all know that if we can make another $200, $300 on every car we sell, if we're selling 15, 18 cars, it's a lot of money, and the money starts to add up. So let's take a couple of facts into mind, okay? First of all, there's hundreds and thousands of dealerships. My choices are unlimited, okay? My choices are unlimited anywhere. I could call a dealership that's 800 miles from me, find a car I like, put it on a carrier, ship it down to me, and I've got the vehicle. But there's only one you. There's only one me. And we are unique and different in our own special ways. That's what we have to get out to people. I've been through this and I've shared with this to you over and over again. And again, I believe this from the bottom of my heart. A customer in their buying process buy based on 4 factors. And these factors have not changed over the years. The first factor, and a lot of people say it's price. It's not. The number one factor is the car. You've got to have a car that I like. If I don't like the car, it doesn't matter how unique, inspiring you are. If I don't find a car that I like, I'm not going to buy from you. I'm not going to buy from you just because I like you. So that's a given. The second factor now is you. I have to like you. I have to want to be around you. I have to enjoy my experience with you. Because remember, if you have a car that I like, I found a car that I like, but I don't like you, I can find that car somewhere else. That is not difficult or complicated. The third reason is the dealership. I have to want to do business at the dealership. Now, think again, if I find a car that I like, and I like you, but I don't want to do business at your dealership, I will find someone similar to you somewhere else. Excuse me. And the third reason now becomes price. So if I like the car and I like you and I like the dealership, well, price becomes easier to swallow, easier for us to negotiate, and easier for us to come to terms on. And that's why it's so important. So remember, We've got to find that car the customer likes first. That's a big part of the process. That's why I've shared with you over the years. You don't want to get people more defensive in your qualification inventory walk. You want to get them less defensive. Your sole goal is to find the car they love. And I hear this over and over again. David, you don't like us asking questions about budget and trades up front. And that's right, because that makes the customer more defensive, and then you become unlikable. And if you're unlikable, I'm not going to buy a car from you. Now, do people sometimes put themselves in cars that it's a little more than they want to spend? Absolutely, happens all the time. But you know what? I know, and you know, people will pay more to get what they want. So if you find what they like, they're willing to spend more money. Happens all the time. That's why the qualification step is so important. Find the car they like. Now, how am I going to like you? It's all going to be in how you treat me, how you talk to me, how well you listen to me. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Or are you just giving me that sales pitch? When I'm talking to you as a customer, are you thinking of what you're going to say next? Or are you really absorbing what I'm doing? Are you helping me fulfill a need and a want that I have, which is to solve a problem? My problem is I need to get another car. And are you helping me solve that problem? That's how you're going to become likable to me. If you keep trial closing me throughout the process, if you keep making little innuendos, sure, I might like the car, but I really don't care for you. Now, might I still buy the car from you? Absolutely. But I'll tell you what, we're going to grind down on price. We're going to make it all about price, all about price. And the third thing we talked about is the dealership. That's why I think it's so important to do our service walks and follow all our steps properly. Just remember, I can get what you have somewhere else. I just can't get you. Now, we put together, actually, Dino, one of our trainers, put together this list. It's a buy from you checklist, and I think it's really good. It's got some really good things that we need to consider of why someone would buy from us. So I'm going to read off some of the stuff on the list. And number one on the list, and these are in no specific order, is my reputation impeccable? Do I have a good reputation? If I'm in a small community, is my reputation honorable? And do people like me and care about me? Am I trustworthy? Do I follow through with what I say I'm going to follow through with? Another thing on our checklist is I mean what I say and I say what I mean. I'm not deceptive. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. And if I tell you I can't do something, then I'm not going to do something. I'm very upfront, honest, and to the point. I want to earn the status of becoming your car guy, your family car guy, your friend's car guy. I want everybody to buy cars from me. How do I do that? It's through the building of a relationship. And that relationship starts with you liking me. Again, if you don't like me, there is going to be no relationship. And this is the part that so many of us don't always comprehend. One car deal is not just one car deal. One car deal can turn into 10s and 20 car deals over the next 10, 15, 20 years. Let's take a perfect example. I live in Florida. I moved to Florida in the early 90s, and I bought a car, and my wife bought a car, and then I had employees and they bought cars, and then when my kids got older, they bought cars, and so on and so on. So I live in a small community here. So a really good salesperson in this community could have locked me up and locked up all my friends and family members and kept selling them cars and selling them cars. Where I go and I, play golf and do things. I know all these people. And if somebody said, hey, I'm looking for a car, if I had someone I could recommend, but you know what? No person has stuck out. Nobody has done anything out of the ordinary. They've been your typical car salesperson, so they weren't inspiring to me. They never followed up with me. I've got people that I've bought cars from. I couldn't even tell you their names. I don't even know if I'd recognize them if I bumped into them. Another thing on my checklist is I'm attentive, honest, positive, and dependable. Again, I do what I say and I say what I'll do, and you can count on that to happen. I set my clients at ease. I really make people feel comfortable when they're around me. I ask the right questions. I ask good questions. I never ask threatening questions. Again, it goes back to that qualification step. I don't want to know what your budget is. Why? We've talked about this. You're going to lie to me. I don't care what your timeline is to buy a car. It's going to get into me psychologically. And again, you're going to lie to me. I don't care who else is involved in the buying process. I don't care if you have a trade. I don't care what your trade's worth. I don't care how much you owe on your trade. None of that stuff is important to me, because it's going to make the customer more defensive. It's going to lessen my likability factor, and I don't want that to happen. Okay. I answer their questions in a direct and literal way. When people ask me a question, I give them an answer. I don't try to skirt the question. If I don't like the answer and it's not a good answer, I tell it to them anyways. It is what it is, okay? I'm not going to lie to somebody. And if I don't know the answer to a question, I'm going to tell them I don't know the answer, and I'm going to say, let me get the answer for you. If I'm not sure, I'm going to say, listen, I think this might be the answer, but let's validate and clarify that before we move on, or before you leave. I'll make sure that I have that right answer for you. This is a good one. This is a big one that Dino keeps pitching to in his dealerships. Is he sells a $30,000 car, but he gives a $50,000 presentation, and that's so true. The presentation that you give will determine part of your likability, but it will control your negotiations when it comes time to negotiate the car deal, and that's critical. If you've given me all the right information and your presentation is a $50,000 presentation on that $30,000 car, it's going to be so much easier to negotiate, and you're going to make higher grosses. So when I make my presentation, I go over everything in the car. And then when they ask questions, I listen intently and I answer all of their questions. I make my transactions easy, safe, and secure. That's a simple one. Numerous testimonials. I mean, I'm really, really, really big on testimonials. You always want to keep getting testimonials, whether it be for your evidence manual, whether it be on your LinkedIn page, on your Google reviews. We were always doing that. If you go to, if you Google search David Lewis and Associates, look at our Google reviews. We are constantly getting Google reviews. You're not going to go to our page and find that there hasn't been a Google review in 6 months or 8 months or a year. They're important to us. They're important that our customers see the good work that we're doing. And you should be doing the same for yourself. You should be doing it for the dealership. Get people to give you those reviews, give you nice comments on your Facebook and on your LinkedIn pages. My product knowledge is second to none. I'm real big on product knowledge. The ironic thing is I don't use all my product knowledge because some of the stuff just isn't that critical to the sales process, but I have it if questions are asked. I know my product inside and out. If somebody asks me a question on how to operate something, I don't have to guess and fidget and say, well, it should be doing this, and I don't know why it's not doing that. I understand every piece of my product. That's going to be why someone's going to buy from me. This one's big, and I talked about it earlier. I'm a good listener. I want to listen to what people have to say. There was an old Greek philosopher that said you have, 2 ears and 1 mouth. So you're supposed to listen twice as much as you're supposed to talk. And that's true. And when people are talking to you, stop trying to formulate your next response in your head, because now you're not listening to them. And now you're going to that sales mode. Don't always try to defend, attack when you're doing this. Listen to what people have to say. I take care of my customers before, after, and during the sales process, 100%. I mean, I'm super, super big on taking care of people after the sales process. We make this promise all the time. I'll take care of you after the sale. We'll take care of you after the sale. And let's be honest, folks, most people don't, none, zero, zilch. Sure, they call you the next day, 3 days, 7 days, 30 days, because that's what the CRM tells you to do. And that's what the managers are checking up on. I want to stay in touch. I want to build that relationship. Now, are these people going to become my best friends? No. Am I going to invite them, to a barbecue at my house? Probably not. But I want them to know who I am. When I see them in the street, in the store, in the supermarket, I want them to say hi. I want them to know that I'm their car guy. We've talked about this before. I'm a maintenance person. I stay in touch with all my customers regarding maintenance. I call them every 6 months. Hey, don't forget you're due for an oil change. I remind them if they have to have, their tires rotated. When they're in for service, I make sure I'm there. I say hello, unless, of course, they come in at 7:30 in the morning and drop their car off. But I'm there for them. If I have to give them a ride, I know I hate doing that kind of stuff, but it's important and it means a lot to people. And people will tell other people that you're doing that. I don't only remove, but I continually lower people's defensive posture. We've talked about that already. I'll never lie to you. I won't lie to you. If you don't like the answer, so be it. The answer is the answer. The truth is the truth. And I think the reason why I don't want to lie to someone is I forget the lie I tell. And then I'm going to get caught in the lie. I am evidently going to get caught in the lie. Every time I have lied, and let's admit we've all lied. We've all told a lie. I get caught. And I think I get caught before I even tell the lie, so I don't even tell the lie anymore. Okay, here's another thing. I make it fun and enjoyable. I make the shopping process fun. And I do it for 2 reasons. Okay, number one, it's supposed to be fun for the customer. They're out looking to buy a new car. This is an exciting time. They're getting a new automobile. They're shopping. And don't let these reports fool you that the process takes too long. The process does not take too long. What takes too long is the process after they buy the car. The F&I process, delivery process, all that takes too long. Why? Because they're excited. And now they don't want to sit there for another 2 hours. They've already been there for 2 hours in their shopping process, which is fine. Now they're ready to go. They want to move on with this. So I try to make it fun. I try to make it enjoyable, non-threatening, non-pressure. That's the first reason why I do it. I'll tell you the second reason why I do it. I want it to be fun for me. I'm at a stage in my life where, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it anymore. Okay? I just don't. I like to have fun. Now, do I have moments where I'm not having fun? Absolutely. I wouldn't be doing this show today if I wasn't enjoying doing it. I love speaking about my craft, my trade. I love sharing ideas with everybody. So if I'm out there selling cars, I'm going to have fun selling cars. It doesn't matter what the situation is. We talked about this. I don't use pressure tactics. I don't use manipulation. I will never try to deceive anybody. I'm a very straight shooter. Okay. So when it comes to my negotiations, I'm not manipulating people. I'm not being deceptive. Again, it is what it is. I've done my job. Hopefully at the end of the process, you have found a car you love, you like me, and you want to do business at our dealership. Very important. I will be your liaison after the sale. I told you about that. I stay in touch with my people forever, ever, ever, and ever. I mean, if they buy other cars, I still stay in touch with them. This is where we lose focus. And this is what makes me so, I don't know if the word is angry, upset, disappointed. We have let so many salespeople down. Take a salesperson that's been selling cars at the same dealership for 10, 15, 20 years, or just in the same market. Logic would say that that person would have to be selling 30, 40, 50 cars a month. The mathematical logic doesn't make sense not to. And the reason is two parts. Number one, we don't stay in touch with the people we sell. We just don't. We forget about them. We move on to something else. So what do we do after 15 years of the business? It's a grind every day. It's grinding it out, getting fresh ups in, grinding out on the lot. And you know what? I'm not doing that. I told you. If you don't know why, I'll tell you again, because that's not fun. I don't want to go out there and grind it out. That's not fun. I did that in the first 5 years of selling cars. And the second reason is we don't stay in touch with the people who don't buy from us. I find this amazing. I'm selling a brand, a customer comes, shops my brand, and decides to buy another brand. Had nothing to do with me. They liked the other brand better. Now, would I ever say anything negative about that other brand? No, of course not. I'd congratulate them, tell them it's a great car, enjoy the car, drive it safely, have a lot of fun in the car. Now, what most salespeople do when they hang up that phone is they take that lead sheet, they throw it in the trash, and they make some crazy comment about the customer, some superlative that I would never say out loud. Okay? Why would you do that? This is a contact you've already created. Why wouldn't you stay in touch with that person? See, that person that bought the other brand, I'd call them in 6 months. Hey, how's the car going? Listen, I just want to remind you that car, like ours, is due for an oil change. We'd love to earn your service business. Would you like to have the oil changed here? No, they say, no, we're going to go back to the, fine, not a problem. I just wanted to remind you, enjoy the car. They're going to be shocked that I called them. I guarantee you they're going to tell somebody what happened. But they'll tell them again and again because I'm going to call them again in 6 months and another 6 months. I'm going to keep that relationship going because you know what? A, they're going to buy another car. B, family members are going to buy another car. C, friends are going to buy another car. And D, someone at their work is going to buy another car. And I want them to always think of me. That's why you should buy from me because I'm going to take care of you. So the gist of all this is it goes back to those fundamentals. Find the car they love. Become likable and make them want to do business at your dealership, and you're going to have fantastic results. So with that said, let me open it up to some questions. I've got a few extra minutes here. I do see a few questions have already popped in. Hold on, let me just open up my screen here. Marty says, it seems like everyone just wants the lowest price. So what need is there to be all these things when it comes down to price anyways? Well, Marty, I'm sorry you feel that way because not everybody always wants the best price. And I'll be honest with you. I think it's a very, very small amount of people that just want the best price. I think you've created that environment. Do people say up front they want the best price? Absolutely. Who wouldn't want the best price? I mean, who comes into the dealership and says, hey, I want to overpay for a car. I want you to undervalue my trade and steal it from me. It doesn't happen. Everybody wants the best price. But when it comes time to determine what is the best price, that's going to be the factor of, do they find a car they love? Do they like you? And do they want to do business at your dealership? And again, Marty, if you sell the car for one number, I'm not going to make $1,000 more because they like me better. Let's put this into reality. But can I make $200, $300, $400 more? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's amazing. I deal with this all the time where I have, salespeople say, well, I can't make any gross on these internet deals. My BDC brings them in at a rock bottom price and there's nowhere I can go from that because you're not thinking outside the box. One of the biggest mistakes we make when that internet lead comes into the dealership is we park the car up front that they selected. I'd never in a million years do that. Whoever thought of that just doesn't understand sales. They don't. I know the thought is, well, we're prepared. We prepared for you. No, you didn't. What you did was you narrowed down a no gross deal that you're still going to have to grind out. See, I want that car on the lot and I want that customer walking the lot. I'm going to show them the car they brought that they picked out. I'm going to walk over to this is the one that we talked about, or our rep talked about on the phone. But I wanted you to look at all the cars first before you narrowed down that this was the car you wanted. See, I want to become likable to them. I want to show them other options. My goal is they switch cars. Once they switch cars, it's a whole new ballgame. It's a whole new set of numbers. All right, someone at Gateway. Do you like an evidence manual? Yeah, I like an evidence manual. Absolutely. I think that something that you can put on your desk that if you do have to walk away, you can show them, whether it be on a computer and they can flip through the pages or it's a hardbound thing that has people that have liked you and have bought cars from you and have made nice comments with you. I'm real big on pictures. I like pictures. People are very visual. I might have a stack of pictures on my desk. If I'm in a small community, say, here are all the pictures of people that bought cars from me over the years. See if you recognize anybody. I think that's good. I do. And again, it goes back to, I think that it's also really good that you have this stuff on your social media platforms. If you're big on LinkedIn, have it on LinkedIn. There are some people, believe it or not, that when they call the dealership and they come in to visit with a salesperson, they do go and search you out. They go to your LinkedIn page. They see if you have a Facebook page. So some people do that. All right, one more, and then we're going to wrap this up. The rest of you, I'll email you your answers. TJ, how important is it to build rapport with the customer? All right, TJ, we're not going to get big-winded on this one. I'm going to make a comment that everybody online right now, all of you are going to go, what? You can't build rapport with a customer. It's impossible. It's impossible. Rapport is defined as a harmonious relationship between two people. Harmonious is defined as something that's soothing and comforting. You are a car salesperson. I am a customer. We have two totally separate agendas. You want to sell the car to me today. I want to buy it when I'm ready. You want to sell the car to me and make as much gross. I want to pay as little gross as possible. This is never going to be harmonious. And this is the point. It's all about likability. Change the word rapport with likable. Can I still like you? Yes. Can we still have some, heated negotiations? Yes. But I got to like you. And the more I like you, the less heated that will be, and the easier it'll be to close, and the more gross you're going to make. So be careful with that word rapport. We have been throwing the word rapport around since I started selling cars in the late 70s. You got to build rapport. You're not going to build rapport. Now, let me take this back one step. If you've been selling Mr. and Mrs. Smith 8 cars for the last 30 years and they live in your neighborhood and your kids went to school together, yeah, you might have rapport with that individual. I would buy into that. But for the most part, always remember, 2 separate agendas. And we always bring this up. Should the customer be afraid of you? And the answer is yes. Why? Because you're a professional salesperson. Your job is to sell them a car. When? Now. For how much gross? As much as possible. If you want the customer to buy from you, follow the factors, follow the steps. Find a car they love, get them to like you, get them to want to do business at your dealership. I guarantee you, if you do that, you are going to sell more cars. So with that said, we're going to wrap everything up. Hope everybody's doing well. As I've always said, I hope everyone's getting their vaccinations and you're being safe. The inventory situation, it's going to go. It's not a forever deal. I know it's tough. I'm talking to everybody out there. We will get through this. I cannot tell you when, but we will. And I think we're going to start to see something soon. So just stick it out. You're going to be fine. With that said, wish you all the best, and I'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.